Alright there, geezers, Jules here for FGS, home of the Future Game Show. And you know what? Much like what I'm going through in real life at the moment with my poor car and Maron, the maroon Ford Focus, bad mechanics can ruin an otherwise great experience. Seriously, I took it in there for a spare tyre change and now I'm looking at a bill that includes a new engine with LOL in the brackets and 3 new clutches. 3! Now, if you get a mechanic right, like the Nemesis system, the Near Automata, Potato Patata chip upgrade system, or the posture mechanics from Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, then people will sing your praises from the balconies. But if you bungle it or it messes with the flow of gameplay too much, then you will have a rendition of every swear word in the English dictionary imaginable being chucked your way. And that's exactly what we're here to talk about today, and I do mean we, because I've roped in my good pal and FGS teammate Tom Farthing to engage in a good old bit of cooperative mode. So with this in mind, I'm Jules, and he is most definitely Tom, and these are 8 video game mechanics that screwed you over. Number 8, the Wheel of Misfortune Chibi Robo Ziplash. Okay, so let's get the record as clear as day on this one. Chibi Robo, the video game series in which you pilot a tiny robot whose sole mission it is to spread happiness, is and forever will be one of the cutest and most wholesome franchises going. The design of Chibi Robo is adorable. The level design in the original game is outstanding, and it's just so much damn fun to race between electrical sources to power up your tiny wee lad that it is honestly a shame that I have to introduce you to the skipful of used needles that is Chibi Robo Ziplash. This game sucks. Now, how we went from a wonderfully charming puzzle platformer full of wonder to this by-the-numbers platforming gruel is something that I'll never know, but it's not the only thing that doesn't add up about Ziplash, as it introduces quite possibly what is the worst mechanic ever when it comes to progressing through the game. Say hello to the destination wheel, and by that I mean tell it to f off immediately, because this thing right here adds RNG into how you select levels. And yes, that does sound about as appealing as cleaning your nan like a cat with your own tongue.
Oh, for God's sake, I can't stand this.
That's right, this dial of over here determines which levels you can access, and seeing as you can and will routinely land on the same level again and again, you'll be forced to play through the stage all over. Because get this, there is no way to quit the level once you've started it, so have fun repeating stages you've already completed. Hilariously though, there's probably going to be some people who pipe up about this flavoured pie wheel and say, oh, but Jules, you can buy tiles that allow you to influence the spin to get better levels and the ones you want to do, and to that I say, listen to yourself. You beautiful carrot brain. You have been tricked into thinking that unlocking the ability to select levels in a platforming game is a good move by the developer. Don't do yourself dirty, you're better than that, and you are far better than this absolute scrap heap of a game.
Dungeons of Daggorath. When you hold me like this, my heart skips a beat. I couldn't show my face on a Jules collab video without putting in at least one deep cut, baby.
You know the drill. Ding 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 ding. Eggy boy gotta get paid.
I don't understand.
Don't be using my catchphrases without paying.
How have you copyrighted it?
YouTube, baby, that's out.
Right, now that I've paid Jules off, let's talk about Dungeons of Daggorath, one of the first dungeon crawlers all the way back in 1982, when graphics didn't exist and you only had 4 kilobytes of memory to play with. This meant you had to get creative with your games, and there wasn't a game more innovative than Dungeons of Daggorath. The only problem is there was loads of mechanics in it that it didn't tell you about. For example, even swinging a sword too many times that was too heavy for you would mean that your character passed out from exhaustion, leaving you at the mercy of all of the enemies and the monsters in the dungeon to stomp on your unconscious corpse. It was one of the first games where you had to keep a torch lit to see anything in the game, and it would slowly fade out over time. They also did some funky stuff with sound. You could actually tell what kind of monster was lurking nearby and how close they were based on the noises they made. It was like playing a twisted game of Monster Marco Polo. Marco?
Polo!
Marco?
Polo!
Marco?
Polo!
The real MVP mechanic of Dungeons of Daggorath was your heartbeat. This game had a mechanic where your heartbeat was front and center. Because your heartbeat was everything in this game. Your health, your magic, your stamina, all wrapped up in that rhythmic thump, thump, thump. If you moved too much without taking a breather, your heart would start racing, like when you realize your team doesn't know the overtime rules in the Super Bowl. Swing your sword too many times in a row, that room is going to start spinning real fast.
Room's starting to spin real fast.
And let me tell you, the way this game tied everything together with that simple heartbeat mechanic was pure genius. Sure, the graphics might look as dated as your grandpa's VHS collection, but if you get past that, you're in for one heck of an immersive experience. I'm talking heart-pounding moments as you hear monsters closing in, feeling your own pulse quicken in response. It's like you're right there in the dungeon, facing down danger with nothing but your trusty sword and a prayer. You have to manage movement and attack precisely. You can't just run from every fight. You'll pass out, but you can't attack all the time. The action management in this game was always on a knife edge, and you didn't have a handy countdown to tell you how many moves you had left. You just had your heart thumping in your ears as you prayed it could last one more round. As you got stronger, your heartbeat started to chill out. Each more powerful monster you did manage to kill bumped up your level. Suddenly you've transformed from skinny Steve Rogers to step on me Steve Rogers. Eventually you're running through the whole game without breaking a sweat and swinging an axe around like you're trying to find Thanos' tender purple neck.
Number 6, Robot Warlords. Right, so normally when I'm reaching into my big bag of deep cuts, I like to pull out a lesser known champion of gaming, a title that will have you dusting off consoles long since forgotten or reminiscing about the literal good times of this industry we so love. Robot Warlords is not one of these games. This right here, my friends, is a bible on how to piss off gamers with terrible mechanics. For a start, why the hell does a strategy game like this have animations that take up to 30 seconds that trigger when you just try to move a single unit? That's not shoot, that's not engage in any crazy stunts, just regular moving takes up so much goddamn time. And if that wasn't bad enough, the way Robot Warlords handles its upgrades is quite frankly insane. Now normally you'd expect to earn credits or funds to upgrade your mechs between battles, and Robot Warlords does deal with this concept in much the same way, having you complete missions in what it calls life mode, but here is the kicker. You only unlock life mode by completing the entirety of story mode. That's right, you can't upgrade your units until after you've beaten the entire campaign. What you see here is what you bloody get, and all I bloody see are brown turds and maybe a burst blood vessel in my eyes for more of this rage. And to add crushed asbestos to my meal of sadness, there's no new game plus mode either, so you'll unlock a way to upgrade your units and then take them into battles on levels you've already completed for 0 reward. What the actual oh boy, Robot Warlords sure was a fun experience, right? Slowly moving towards my own oblivion. But you know what? I've got a lot of time now to think about things, like maybe subscribing to the FGS YouTube channel, which you should definitely do because, well, I mean, look at the speed I'm going. You've got enough time to watch a ton of videos, and we put out videos daily, so good on you. Do it! God damn it.
Dragon's Dogma, pervert porn prohibited. Like all young boys faced with the difficult choices of building a well-balanced team of companions in an RPG, you obviously just go for the female ones wearing the least clothing. I'm not a creep. There's just no other option. Please, developers. These poor women look cold. Give them a jumper. Anyway, Dragon's Dogma had a hidden mechanic that really made you pay for your dirty, dirty little playgroup. Unbeknownst to all the dirty teenage boys playing through the game, leveling up their party, getting some sweet, sweet loot, and genuinely getting rather fond of your harem, Dragon's Dogma was about to teach you that being the gaming version of Andrew Tate was a very stupid thing. Because one of the most annoying enemies in the game are ogres. These things are extremely powerful, agile, and they treat your characters as a drive-through snack, picking them up and running away with them as they chow down. The main way to take down big beasts in Dragon's Dogma is to climb them and start stabbing. The ogre, however, will jump up and land on its back, crushing you if you try and climb it. All in all, a massive pain in the arse. A glowing red pain in the arse, it turns out. Yep, gotta love video games. These asses glow red from the ogres when they're raging, making them run around wildly, flailing their arms about, and are basically impossible to stun or stagger. So, what is the hidden mechanic that completely screws you with these beasties? Well, it only screws the horny teenagers. You see, in Dragon's Dogma, there's a mechanic where these overpowered ogres will focus relentlessly on female members of your party, chase them down, and try and run away with them. Also, the more female companions you have, they attack faster and harder. This makes some areas of the game nearly impossible to get through. Places like the Quarry, where it's really narrow and you're underleveled when you get there. It's really hard on its own. Take in a group of female badasses and Charlie's Angels are going to get chomped on rather quickly. The game does hint that ogres don't like women, but when you've put so much time already into your team, the idea of swapping them out for a group of useless men is a tough call to make. Players have even tried dressing up their female characters in men's clothing and vice versa to confuse the ogres. And while cross-dressing is great, it unfortunately doesn't work in this instance.
Number 4, Odama. Now when it comes to Dragon Ball, delectable tandoori chicken burgers, and my girlfriend's favourite date night movie, Human Centipede, fusion can sometimes be a brilliant thing. However, in the case of the monstrously obscure video game Odama, it tries way too many things for its own good. To describe what Odama actually is presents the first challenge, as it is a real-time strategy game mixed with pinball and has a sprinkling of voice commands thrown in on top. Now, credit where credit is due, this is most definitely a unique concoction. However, so is mixing dog vomit and a used nappy, and let me tell you from experience, both of these experiences stink. And no, don't ask me why or how I know that. Okay, so maybe I'm being a little harsh to Odama because it sure is fun to crush soldiers with a giant boulder that you've just launched up the table, and to be honest, if it was just that experience overall, I'd actually be singing its praises. However, I sure as hell got tilted the moment that the voice commands entered the picture, because you use these to direct your tiny goons, encouraging them to attack, pull back and charge the enemy's main camp, and let me tell you something, brother. Much like my parents' marriage, this thing ain't bloody working. You see, there's a morale system at play here, which, when low, means that your soldiers will ignore your commands. And when coupled with the, and let's just be generous here and say, wonky microphone that was provided with copies of Odama, means that your troops will be standing around picking their noses even when you're encouraging them by flattening them out of frustration. The random nature of pinball, dodgy voice commands, and AI that refuses to listen, it's honestly hard to pick which mechanic screws you over the most here.
Pokemon, turn that frown upside down. Let's talk about Inkay, the Pokemon that defies gravity and common sense to evolve into Malamar in a move that's as unexpected as Detective Pikachu learning what you use a dark light for while investigating an autoerotic asphyxiation serial killer murder in the Detective Pikachu sequel. So there you are with your Nintendo DS, raising this cute little squid-like creature, thinking it's just your average Pokemon with a penchant for ink and mischief, but level up your little sucker and he doesn't evolve. Okay, fine, this is Pokemon. Maybe the little tyke needs any number of strange methods to evolve, from holding a special stone, or maybe I need to show it Will Smith eating a bowl of spaghetti. I don't bloody know. And that's the problem. The game doesn't bloody know either. Nothing in the apparent fountain of knowledge that is the Pokédex. I mean, really, what is the point of that thing other than taking up space in my bag? No shimmering text box, no helpful NPC telling me what to do. Trust me, you're going to turn the world upside down trying to find out how to evolve it. No, that's literally it. To evolve Inky, you have to turn the world, or at least whatever you're playing with, upside down. Not only that, but you have to hold your console upside down as it levels. So, if you jumped into a battle without paying too much attention about the XP, and it creeps up from level 29 to 30, and you're not holding it upside down, tough luck. Go and catch another one and level that sucker up to 29 and try again. You can always use rare candy to push it up a level manually, but you need to have the console upside down when you press the button to give it the rare candy. I don't know about you, but these old man hands can't cope with that kind of coordination. However, amidst the contortionist mechanics involved, there's undeniable brilliance. The unorthodox mechanics breaks the fourth wall, forcing players to interact with the game in a completely unexpected way. It's a playful jab at the very nature of video games, reminding us that the boundaries between player and world are always malleable. The evolution might be frustrating, illogical, and even a little bit infuriating, but it's also unforgettable. So much that it's been used in other Pokemon games like Scarlet and Violet for the Nintendo Switch and in Pokemon Go. It really is a testament to Pokemon's ability to surprise us, to challenge expectations, and to leave us staring at our screens upside down, being bewildered and yet undeniably engaged. So, the next time you encounter this deceptive squid, remember, the key to its true potential lies not in the Pokédex, which is basically empty, but in your own willingness to defy logic and turn the world on its head. Quite literally. Just be careful not to drop your console down the toilet when you do it.
Number 2, Nevermind. And so we come to horror game Nevermind, a title whose name actually seems to reflect the attitude the general public has to its existence here, because they've been shrugging it into the realms of obscurity ever since it released. It is a deep cut. Shouldn't be though, because it's quite imaginative. Because for those that have sought this game out, they will find an experience unlike anything else on the market, as Nevermind is a horror game that goes out of its way to scare the out of you by effectively reading your actual levels of I say this because Nevermind was designed to work with multiple biometric feedback devices which measures the player's pulse as well as those that read facial expressions and eye movements and then translates that data into emotional records. Yet, it isn't just harmless analysis going on behind the scenes, as the readings the game would get would then inform the difficulty and scare factor of Nevermind itself, which would ramp up jump scares and enemy damage the more frightened that you were. It was an adaptive difficulty that punished you for being scared. Therefore, if you've got a nervous disposition or react badly to horror games in general, then this adaptive difficulty mechanic is going to screw you over beyond all rational belief. It is an evil title, that is for sure, but one that is so cruelly inventive, it's actually a shame that it's not been applied to more titles in the genre.
The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. Foldable frustration. Phantom Hourglass, with your cute animations, adorable music, cutesy uplifting style, but secretly you're hiding a mechanic so heinous that it transforms you from this colourful, cutesy Zelda into a black and white and red rage meme. Now, most Zelda puzzles straddle that line of difficulty that is a challenge, but rewards you with that lovely dopamine hit when you get it right. This mechanic, however, is specifically designed to infuriate you so much you give up on the game entirely, close your precious DS, and look for the closest TV to hurl it into the center of. So, after making your way through 6 basements with various puzzles and pain-in-the-ass enemies of their own, you end up in the Sacred Crest Chamber, where instead of a treasure chest containing the sea chart you expected, you instead get this sun symbol and are told, press the Sacred Crest against the sea chart to transfer it. You've learned earlier that the Sacred Crest is to draw the shape of an hourglass, and you do that. Nothing. Okay, you tried various items, nothing. You find a picture of an hourglass on Google and you press the symbol up to your DS. Nothing. And finally, after hours of frustration, because of course, you close the DS, but this time with your teeth, because you want to bite down on something while you rage. And then it happens. You hear from within your closed teeth the DS make an unmistakable noise of a Zelda puzzle completion. What? So you open the DS, and there it is. The sun symbol has imprinted onto your map, revealing the next location. Your jaw drops. This wasn't a button press. It was breaking the fourth wall, using the DS itself as part of the game, and one of the biggest implementations and best of ingeniously using the 3DS's dual screens to best effect. However, I am still convinced that the developers had a bet to see if they could frustrate players with a puzzle so heinous and so annoying that they closed the game in frustration. Even if it was a mechanic that screwed you over on purpose, this puzzle remains a testament to the power of innovation and daring, leaving an indelible mark on Zelda history and the minds of players forever. It's great, even though I do hate it to its core.
And there we have it, my friends. Those were 8 video game mechanics that screwed you. I hope that you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As always, you can follow us on our social medias. Mine is over here, and Tom's is over here. And you can follow our lovely editor, Mark's, over here as well. Big love to you all. Thank you very much. And remember to subscribe to the FGS YouTube channel as well, my friend. Do yourself a favour. You know what? We spoke a lot today about video game mechanics, but there's one mechanic that you can definitely do every single day, and that is just being kind to yourself as well as being kind to each other. He's gone back in his little hole now. Okay, right, he's burrowing away. Bye, Tom. You can be kind to yourself as well as others. Start building bridges instead of burning them, my friends, because that's the only way we're going to get through this crazy thing called life, and that is together as one. So go out there with love in your heart for yourself and your neighbour as well. Big love to you all. As always, I've been Jules. He's now in the walls. I can hear him scurrying across the electrical wires. Fantastic. He's been Tom, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
I'm not looking at the camera, do it again.
Where were you looking?
I'm looking at myself! The graphics might look as dated as your grandpa's VHS collection, but my iPad is died battery.
No, I don't like this.